Well, hi everyone. This is Dr. Shoto with this week's video introduction to week number 8, our final week in our course in nursing research. And we've covered a lot of territory, and this week we're kind of in the last stages talking about something that has been touched upon in other weeks, but this week we give particular focus to, which is the importance of protecting subjects in research. This is really an important part of research, and there's been many instances over the years where some researchers or some organizations that have sponsored research have really taken advantage of certain populations. It's not uncommon that in the past, in the 1930s and 1940s, for example, that jail populations or state hospital populations might have been used for some medical experiments that some might have deemed to be questionable. Of course, this week you'll read about, and you've all read about, the Tuskegee experiment, very famous research experiment in the rural South, where individuals, actually Negro males, were included in a study that was meant to be a longitudinal study seeking to find out what the effects of syphilis are long term on the Negro male, and which in today's questioning, or in today's language, actually sounds very racist on its face. Although in the 1930s, that would have been probably a reasonable, viewed as being a reasonable research study. But when it really crossed the line and became unreasonable is when a cure was found for syphilis. When the study was founded and started, there was no cure for syphilis, and so it was viewed whether the gentlemen were in the study or not, the ultimate result was going to be the same. And so there really wasn't any ethical dilemma seen. However, once they discovered a cure for penicillin, the research decided not to give it to these gentlemen and did not tell them there was a cure for syphilis. So that's just one example, and there's been many others, but that's a particularly egregious form. But that's why this is so important. And every research organization, every organization that does research has to have in place an institutional review board that oversees all aspects of research. And that's going to be the focus this week. Reading a study that has a particularly possibly vulnerable population. And you're going to be discussing how the study subjects rights and how their safety was maintained, and was it appropriate? Was it appropriately done? That's going to be the discussion question for this week. All the other heavy lifting is pretty much done. Your critiques are done. The only last thing that you've got to do, and I've got to warn you, please, please, please know that you have a final exam due. The final exam is due by Thursday night. Everything this week is due by Thursday. Final grades are really due on Friday. So I have to make sure that I have all the grades pretty much done by Thursday night, and Friday all the grades go in. So this week you're going to have the discussion question is going to be due on Tuesday, the initial response. The follow-up responses to peers are going to be due on Thursday. This was a question that came up, and so it's been discussed in the questions column. So everybody should be aware of that, but just know that everything has to be wrapped up by Friday. That includes the final exam as well. And so that's really pretty much it. If you haven't done so already, and if it's still available, please go through and fill out the end of course survey. Those surveys are very important to me personally because that's how I continue to get my contracts here. Plus, that's also how I get feedback on what to make, or how I can make these classes more user-friendly, more accessible, and make them better for you, the student. That's really what it's all about. So I wish you happy holidays, whatever your holiday tradition is this month. Be a Christian or Jewish, or if you celebrate Kwanzaa, or if you celebrate a solstice, or if you just choose to follow the Church of the NFL. Either way, I wish you blessings. I wish you good tidings. I look forward to participating with you this last week. Look for all those grades to be completed by Friday night, or certainly by the weekend. Sometimes there's something straggling, and I can't really post final grades until all the straggling things come in. But I really just try to have those things done by Friday, so hopefully everything will be done then. So all blessings with you. I look forward to seeing you in discussion forums, and good luck in your next class.